Greetings, Guardians, and welcome to the Voices of the Vanguard. Today I have with me Sully from Sully Games. Say hello, Sully.
Hello, Guardians.
And today we have a few topics for you here. First topic is, of course, what we're up to, but also the pyramid ships are quickly approaching. And we'll go over TWAB, Guardian Games, and the question for our week this week is, would you be fine if Bungie destroyed Destinations? So... let's start off with Sully and what he has been playing. Or, well, what you've been doing.
Pretty much just Destiny. Always just Destiny, because it's life. I've been playing a lot of Gambit. Unfortunately. I think I'm going to finish off. Try to at least, for sure, reset for the second time. I might try to get Dredgen this season, depending on certain things, but mostly been playing some Iron Banner this week.
What do you need for Dredgen?
I just need to get the ghost.
Oh, really?
So I need to, I just need to reset.
That's not so bad.
3 times. It's just playing like Gambit, like nonstop. So I might wait until like there's like a
stock up on bounties if you're playing, and then pop them all at triple.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Yeah, might be doing that. Iron Banner just to get the pinnacles to get ready for Grandmaster, and then that's about really it. I didn't do a whole lot of raids this week just because Iron Banner, and been playing a lot of Gambit. So other than that, just it's been a lot of Gambit. So
I've been not really playing Destiny. I've been mostly playing Final Fantasy 7 and Final Fantasy 14. So I've been deep in the world of Final Fantasy.
Yeah, that's not a bad thing. So
yeah,
I'm thinking about actually picking that up if it whenever it comes to PC, if it does come to PC.
7.
So yeah, because I've never actually played 7.
Oh, man.
So like, it would definitely be.
It'd be really interesting to get your take on it, considering there's a lot of like, just things that 7 fans recognize instantly that other people would not.
Mm-hmm.
Especially later on in the game. Yeah, so that's basically it for me. I tried out Iron Banner. I got really pissed off that night, man. I was so fucking.
It was rough.
I was so done.
What did I go on?
No, I was just saying, like, I played it that one time with you and a couple other guys, and I just got so pissed off. I ended my stream, and I was like, I'm just gonna chill out, watch some old WCW, and play some Final Fantasy. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just not feeling it.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the pinnacles, like I wouldn't be in Iron Banner right now, just because like I honestly there's really no point other than like the pinnacles. So yeah, like yesterday, like I played 19 games. I went 8-11. Had like a KD of like a 1.09 and a KDA of like a 1.29. But like I started off really good, and then like I just got wrecked later on, and it was rough. I ran into a bunch of like 4 and 5 stack teams, which whatever. But yeah, it was definitely rough. So I'm looking forward to getting this. I have like one more bounty left on my Titan. It's like the kills bounty. And for some reason, like, I keep getting the glitch to where I'll have games where it won't, like, record for the bounty. So, like, that's been taking forever. So, I'm just ready for it to be done and not play Iron Banner for the rest of this week. To be honest.
Yeah. I played a little bit of Iron Banner today, and I got some 1009 gear, so I'm...
Yeah, I have a bunch of 1009, so, like, the drops have been nice, and they've been kind of, like, scattered, like, I'm not just constantly getting, like, energy weapons. But, so, like, exactly, so, like, I want to at least kind of get both of my characters done before I raid, and then go into the raid 3 times and knocked it out. But yeah, I'm right there. Like, it's just, if it wasn't for grinding for Grandmaster, like, I don't know if I would touch it, because I'm gonna hit max pinnacle regardless, but I want the pinnacles before Tuesday.
For the Grandmasters. Well, when's Grandmaster again?
Yeah. It's just Tuesday.
Is it? Okay. I'm oddly excited for Guardian games. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll talk. We'll end up talking about that a bit later.
It looks fun.
But
so
I don't know. Maybe it's just like another competition thing. That doesn't.
It just, I don't know. It's something different.
Yeah.
It's a reason to hop on. Granted, it's still going to be bounties.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And stuff, but
mm-hmm.
And you're right. It's a competition, which was always nice about faction rallies. Even like that still needed like a whole rework, but it was a competition. So like, oh, you wanted your faction to win, so
yeah.
Now it's, hey, I want my class to win.
Although it's all going to be just dominated by hunters. Let's be honest.
Yeah, hunters, and I don't know.
We'll get into it later.
Because sometimes
we'll get into it later. So let's talk about the pyramid ships. So this week,
yes,
if you went to go and clear out your bunker,
got closer,
and you saw the lights on the solar system map light up, you would recognize that there's more ships and they're getting closer too.
They're closer. Yeah. They're getting closer. Which, this is really funny. I feel like Bungie, I love this whole kind of like, it's storytelling, but like, it's funny that this is more like, people are talking about this more than the whole current season story that's going on with the Almighty.
Well, there's nothing going on with the Almighty.
Yeah, exactly. But like, and it's like, this focus seems like it should be on these like pyramid ships, but like, no, it's supposed to be the Almighty. So I do really like the fact that like, in the background, like, obviously like there's always Easter eggs and stuff, but like the communities has this big focus on these pyramid ships, and they are quickly approaching I've seen a lot of people have like breakdowns of like all the pictures from like their locations and every time that they move, and they're expected to hit Titan by the time around next season. Yep. So I would be very interested to see on if like next season kind of sets up for the fall expansion, which would be really cool. But I don't know. I really love this whole outside story that Bungie's really not even trying to do, but they're doing, that the community's making a big deal, because this is, the pyramid ships are probably one of the most fascinating things that Destiny has put in its game.
Well, it's the darkness, right? It's like, it's supposed to be the big bad guy
true darkness
that you're supposed to fight.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why everyone is like so interested, because it's like the ultimate thing that we're gonna end up fighting eventually.
Exactly. So, have you been paying attention to it, or is this kind of something you're just kind of like?
I've just been watching the memes. You know, the memes are pretty fun.
Memes. They are. The Tetris one. Did you see that?
I don't think I saw the Tetris one. I saw the car one though, where it's like objects in mirror are closer than they appear.
Yeah,
it's pretty funny.
Saw that one too.
So,
but yeah, I've been keeping an eye. I'd be interested to see. Like, we'll kind of like talk about this like later on at the very end, because we are going to talk about like the potential like.
We're going to talk about the quote unquote leak.
But I'll be interested to see on what they continue to do with these ghost ships, or pyramid ships, if they continue to get closer. I think that could potentially if they continue to do more backstory with this stuff, I feel a little bit more confident about some of the spoiler information that was potentially leaked.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll get to that later on in the podcast.
All right. So let's talk about TWAB then. So this week at Bungie, we announced, or we prepare
Guardian
for a rivalry. Announced earlier this morning, Guardian Games is fast on approach, getting April 21st at 10 a.m. The games begin. Titans, Hunters, Warlocks will compete to prove
Masterclass.
Which class is the most dedicated. Your entry into the competition begins with a visit to Ava Levante. Each Guardian will receive a class item to adorn while taking part in the competition. Bronze, silver, and gold medals will be available to earn daily, each of which will focus on a specific game modes to earn medals. Equip your new class item. Defeat enemies, pick up laurels on the battlefield, and advance your quest for the medals you desire. We fully acknowledge that class populations are a little lopsided. Hunters are so fabulous with their capes that they are indeed more of them than Warlocks or Titans. To help offset this, so Hunters don't steal the show every day, medals will be weighted slightly per class to maintain an even playing field. We aren't fiddling with the numbers to force wins on an alternate class. Hunters could still take this entire thing if they put in enough effort. So I like the podium stuff that they have there in that image. Looks pretty sweet.
Yeah, I think, I mean, that's always been the one thing Bungie has done fantastic in Destiny 2 is just on how they design the tower when there's like live events and just continue to like make the tower.
Yeah, they've gotten better at it for
just
sure.
like a more enjoyable social space, because obviously you didn't really play a whole lot of D1, but like basically like D1 tower was basically the same way until like for the entire game, except for there was the one big door at like the main area would open, and I think that was for like only like certain special events. I think maybe Iron Banner might have been back there for a little bit, but they didn't do a very good job with the tower in D1. But
I know why. I know why the stream was lagging. It's because I was downloading a game that was like 60 gigs. So
yeah, that would do it.
Let's try this again.
That would do it. Oh. What game?
Siege. Even though I never play it, I have a friend that plays it. Anyways,
I can't get into super competitive games.
Yeah, I don't want. Anyways, so let's talk about this. So about those class items at daily reset, your cloak mark or bond will update to reflect what placement your team has taken. For example, if Titans took a W for the day, or for day one, their mark will update with a wonderful gold sigil. With Warlocks in second and Hunters in third, class items would be updated to feature silver and bronze, respectively. Then they show them off. The cloaks look sick. The marks look pretty sweet. The bonds look
and then you have the bonds.
like a bond. Well,
yeah,
I'm going to say this, though. These bonds look more unique than some of the bonds that we've gotten already.
They do. But I don't know, as we were talking before the podcast, I would almost rather nothing. Like, I'm not a fan of the Warlock bond, and I'm a Warlock main, and I hate our class item the way it looks. But to BH, I don't know what else they could really do with the Warlock. Like, I don't know what other type of like redesigned class item they could do, but yeah, but overall the Hunters, obviously their cloaks look sick, and the Titan marks look cool. Question, do you think Titans will ever receive a cloak?
A cloak?
Mm-hmm.
No.
I mean, because Saladin has one. Or a cape, I guess.
Yeah, I can see a cape, but not a cloak.
Yeah, be more of a cape, not a cloak.
Mm-hmm.
I think that'd be badass.
So what's the ultimate prize? At the end of the event, your daily placements will be combined for a final score. Depending on your team's standings, your class items will be locked to their respective placements for the remainder of the year.
So sounds like this could be a yearly thing.
I wouldn't mind it having like a
Yeah.
Olympics every year. If you're looking for more ways to represent your class, Ava has you covered. Each week you'll be offered a free quest to earn an exotic ghost shell, one themed to each Guardian class. Complete this quest every week to collect all 3. Additionally, a new exotic machine gun will become available during the event. We look forward to seeing what mayhem this tool of destruction will inspire. So yeah, we talked about the ghosts before. These leaked out earlier. Look pretty good.
Yeah, I think they look all right. Once again, I think like for like my taste, I think there's just too much going on for these ghosts. But I think they did a good job with them for the most part. Like, definitely could see a lot of people.
Another thing that wasn't mentioned in the Guardian games is that there's going to be a statue of whoever wins. So if a hunter wins the Guardian games, there'll be a hunter statue in the tower for the rest of the year.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I think it's pretty sweet. I just don't want it to be a hunter. I'd rather have a Warlock or Titan statue.
Yeah. Well, and then they go back, and I wonder how they're gonna like mess with the numbers to BH.
Mm-hmm.
Like on how they gonna like even that out and stuff. I wonder how like that math is gonna be. So interesting.
Yeah. I'm probably not gonna play on either of my alternates. Then I'll probably just end up playing Titan for the rest of the.
Yeah, that's what like I was just kind of like trying to figure out like really like on how like I mean most of the time I play on my Warlock anyways, so like I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of forcing you to play a class, just like one class, for the remaining of the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's what like I'm just kind of like. Well, obviously I'm gonna play like my other classes to get the shells, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna try to manage my time with this.
I hope they make the cloak and the mark and all that an ornament rather than an item. That way you can wear it throughout the year. Like you keep wearing it.
Okay.
Instead of having it disappear. That'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean that would be kind of cool if they do it that way, but like I'd be interested to see if they do.
Yeah, no.
So, I don't.
So yeah, that's it. So look forward to Guardian games this Tuesday. So at the time so now for Guardian's Heart update. At the time of writing this article, Guardian's Heart Charity Initiative has generated $450,000 for relief efforts for COVID-19. For those that may not be up to speed, this is a fundraising effort. We've partnered with Direct Relief. Any donation of $20 or more will earn you the exclusive Guardian's Heart emblem. To help raise awareness and share some of the community action, we're hosting a series of bungee bounties for as long as the fundraising initiative lasts. This isn't restricted to North American Guardians. It's a worldwide effort, so we'll naturally have some international bounties for you to chase.
They do a lot of charity stuff compared to like seems to be like a lot of other games that I keep my eye out on.
Yeah. I think
and I think they're doing a really good job with like doing a bunch of bungee bounties again, because like it seems like they've been kind of lacking on doing those, and those are always
they haven't
fun
done
times,
those in a while.
So I think they're doing a good job with this whole charity thing.
So moving on to Problem Children, it seems the Guardian games kicked off a little early from exotic items in our game. In terms of competition, Telesto, Winter's Guile, and Wormgod Caress are eyeing the top spot of being his problem child in their sandbox. So here's the report. Next week, Guardian Games kicks off with the release of Destiny 2 Update 2.8.1. Please see below for the rollout time. So Destiny 2 maintenance, 9 a.m. Pacific. Taken offline on all platforms, 9:45 Pacific. Rolls out across all. The update rolls across Rolls across all platforms and regions. Players will be able to log back into Destiny 2 at 10:01 a.m.
Nice.
Destiny 2 is back online for all platforms. Guardians Games begins 10:01. Destiny 2 service maintenance concludes at 11.
Yay.
For future release timelines, when they are available, players should visit their Destiny server and update status help article. I don't know if you've been noticing, but it's been saying Destiny, like, the update is like 2.8 now. Do you think next season will be 2.9? And then...
Probably.
And then we'll get Destiny 3 for...
Well, probably we'll get... Well...
Or it'll be a 3.0.
Yeah, it'd be 3.0. Probably for next DLC? Are you thinking for Destiny 3 it'll be a 3?
That's what I'm thinking for the next DLC. It'll be Destiny 3.0, which will be Destiny 3. But it's not... you know what I mean?
Yeah,
you know how Final Fantasy 14 has been like Heaven's Sword and then like Realm Reborn, like all that kind of stuff.
Sure,
it's gonna be like that.
Yeah, I could.
Because I think Final Fantasy 14 is on like 5.8 or something like that right now.
Okay, how long's 14 been out?
Like 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could see it.
All right. So, Beetle errors during the team's investigation into Beetle errors. It was discovered that players who were in towers with more than 13 people would get Beetle errors at a higher rate. As a temporary workaround, we have changed the number of players who can be found in the tower from 26 to 12 until a more permanent fix can be deployed. I didn't realize you can go into a tower. Oh, okay. It just says more than 13 people in a tower. Okay. I thought it says you can go into the tower with more than 13 people. I was like, that's weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, just...
So upcoming resolved issues.
Some nice changes or updates, fixes coming up.
All right. So the fixes are Ward of Dawn will now correctly generate orbs.
Thank you.
Fully.
Have you noticed that?
Yeah. Well,
actually,
not really. I actually haven't noticed it, but I noticed a lot of people talking about it.
Yeah, dude. Like, there's been a lot of times where I'm just on like running guard, and I'm just like,
"Where's your orbs?
Where am I? I mean, normally, I always have my super, anyways, but I'm just like, orbs. Same thing with Crucible. A lot of people will pop a bubble, and I go to pick up orbs, like thinking there's gonna be orbs, and there's no orbs. I'm just kind of like standing in the bubble, like,
all right,
orbs.
Fully upgrading any bunker will now unlock the associated Warmind security triumph. Interacting with the statue of Shur Ido for this Wish Ender quest and Shattered Throne will no longer crash the game. I didn't know that was the thing.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Level 32 PDS upgrade can now be used to clear the bunker by any character. Thank you. Rasputin's daily Seraph weapon can now be claimed on any character. Players who've completed the Forsaken campaign will find the Lawless Frontier lore book. Entry By Thy Tongue Be Damned completed and available to claim. Friends listed in players' roster should no longer show up as black nameplates with 0 power.
Woo! It's been one of the most annoying things other than Beaver.
Yeah.
About here recently.
I think that's probably the cause of a lot of the issues that we've been having with just trying to connect to each other.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think so too. Well, other than the fact that one time you're appearing away or something like that, or offline.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. Is like, I think the game was rating me as offline when I was online.
No.
I don't know. There's some weird stuff going on with Steam and Destiny.
There is.
So current known issues. Winter's Guile Wormgod Caress exotic gauntlets are retaining increased melee damage after their intended timer cooldown. They've been disabled. And the Ingram from Trials Flawless chest will disappear for players who have earned all available Trials rewards. That's gotta suck.
Yes.
So we come to a close on our 12, but we understand there are some topics that weren't covered here that you may have a strong desire to know about. Eververse, Trials improvements, our plans to address FOMO, tackling the bounty problem, and more. There are also questions like what about feeling like players can't play their way? What about ritual weapons, anti-cheat improvements, etc.? We've been having frequent syncs to talk through these issues and more. Many of them require a long-term plan with short-term mitigation to help ease the pain. Last thing we want to do is overcommit to changes that ultimately may be reversed or sign the team up for work that leads to crunch. We don't want to make promises that we can't keep, so to speak. Over the next few weeks, we hope to solidify some plans, get them communicated out. We're looking at what we can to be accomplished in Season 11, which is coming much faster than any of us can believe. Some topics will be tackled in Season 12 as they'll require larger scale systematic changes. Thank you again to everyone that's been giving feedback on Destiny over the years. Train never stops, and we hope to share our next steps with you soon. Until next time,
The
we'll
train
see
never
you.
stops.
Yeah, train never stops.
Remember that.
All right.
That was nice. I like this final statement by DMG. At least like there's some type of acknowledgement in the TWAB.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have been asking just for an acknowledgement lately.
Yes.
So.
Obviously, like, some things can't be done right away, and a lot of people are just, hey, we need some type of like talk, like something, like,
We
hey,
just need
like,
to know you guys are
something's
doing
being
something.
done. Yeah. So, and seeing Eververse trials, and then FOMO, and the bounty problem would be an easy fix in my opinion, and that's just get rid of the artifact in general. That would just
I took the bounty
that.
problem to mean that all their like everything they're doing recently is just bounties, but I guess you're right. About
Yes and no, because you got to figure with Grandmaster Nightfall, you need to hit plus 15 on the artifact, if not higher if you're not at Pinnacle. So, and that's a lot of bounties, a lot of XP.
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of good things here that were addressed. Or, well, they're going to address.
Not really.
They address to address later.
Yes. So, everything comes with time, so... hopefully.
So next up, we'll have question of the week. Would you be fine if Bungie destroyed destinations? Do you want me to go first, or do you want to go first?
Yeah, you can go first.
Okay, so... Depends on what you mean by destroy destinations.
Completely gone. And not necessarily like Bungie just doesn't want to like not deal with the planet, and just instead of like there has to be some type of like story / lore involved to it, not just like, okay, this planet's gone for no reason just because we need to make room for consoles. Like there has to be some potential.
See, I thought about this. I thought about World of Warcraft when they did their whole Cataclysm drop, and how it basically like reworked the world and the way it looks and like where everything is pretty much. And so I thought of like destroying destinations rather than destroying them completely outright, like maybe rework them in a way that makes them unique again.
Yeah, and that was another thing I was thinking too.
Like a lot of people are clamoring for
that would be
Titan.
cool.
Like there's like a lot of really cool stuff you can do with Titan with the lore there. There's like sea monsters and the methane sea.
Yeah, I don't know if you can actually still see it on Titan, but I remember when Destiny 2 first launched, like you would occasionally see like I always said Nessie. Like it looked like, she's some type of like Loch Ness monster and like the waves, and it was only like for like a split second.
Yeah.
But like you could see something. So I would honestly be cool with both. Like I think that could potentially create some really cool like story behind it if it was tied to story, like to have like some type of like hive god, or like I'm sure there's some
Leviathan
other type
finally
of like
eats Nessus.
yes,
And Failsafe is gone forever.
I am sure that there's some type of other almighty out there, that can literally destroy stars. So, or planets. So, like, as long as it was tied for, like, story based, like, I wouldn't necessarily be against them destroying locations.
Well, if they destroy a location, would you expect a new location?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's fair.
Yeah. Like, I would think if you're going to destroy something, you're going to then give something in that for that
like
reason.
Maybe Venus?
Or, yeah, whatever. Or I'm also really cool. Like, I think it would be kind of cool to see, like, even, like, say, like, the next DLC this fall, like, say we didn't get a new location, but say they reworked multiple of the destinations and, like, added maybe a few more, like, one or two more patrol areas to where it, like, basically equaled a new location and, like, everything just, like, looks changed. I think would be really cool instead of adding another destination that we will experience for a few months and after that we never go to.
Yeah.
Because, like, unless for some reason you have a quest line and you have to go to that place.
So. Yeah. Yeah, you know my thoughts now. I would like to have them rework locations rather than destroy them. If they are going to destroy them, add a new location. That's basically my thought on that question.
And I just think if they would destroy, I think just because, like, imagine, like, obviously it won't be like to like the same level, but like just when we lost Cade, like it's really cool, like, to see Bungie like do these stories and kind of go dark and just kind of take things away from us that like we like really like. Maybe like obviously like locations are nowhere near the level of like losing Cade, but it's like really cool to see Bungie be like, okay, we're not afraid now to destroy stuff and let things just boom gone, like, so that it's kind of like early Game of Thrones. Like, you never wanted to get attached to a character because you never knew when they're going to be gone.
Mm.
I think I would love to see Bungie kind of do that with, like, locations and more characters. But I want to hear everyone's thoughts on that, so.
Yeah. So leave a comment down below if you're listening or watching this on our website, chargeshot.com, or on YouTube. We're gonna get into quote unquote.
Well, not yet.
No,
maybe. I'm gonna see. We might have some questions here.
Okay.
But I'm thinking, Zaddy. He asked, but are we gonna get one more whack DLC than the big DLC in September? I'm assuming he's talking DLC. He's talking season pass.
Yeah, that's how this works.
Well, I don't know. I consider a season pass and a DLC a little bit different.
No, I'm saying he's like, oh, well, I assume that's what he meant when he said one whack DLC and then the big DLC in December.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get another season and then content drop like a.
But then he asked with like question mark, like, so.
Okay.
I'm assuming next season probably won't be much better than this. I think it'll be a little bit better.
It's hard to go down from here, but leave it to Bungie.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
To impress us.
But we'll get into a little bit more. But if we do get another whack DLC, I hope to God this spoiler is semi-true. Then I would actually be okay with it. But if not, we'll get into more details about that. Then Demandred asked about the leaks, so we'll just start getting into that topic as of right now.
So the leaks, let me get
not necessarily even really a leak. Maybe we don't.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Wait,
no,
quote unquote leak. So let me ask you his question first. What do you think of the leaks? Do you think they are likely or full of crap? So pick one of the two. Just pick one of the two, and then we'll go into, and then we'll read the leaks.
I'm gonna say likely.
I'm gonna say full of crap. All right, let's get into the leaks. So an anonymous post on 4chan, very credible place.
Right.
This was posted on 4chan, and this was shared around the Twitterverse with other content creators and stuff. But let's go ahead and read this. So the reason why Bungie has a skeleton crew working on D2 right now is due to them working on both their Matter IP and the big upcoming D2 Fall expansion, Destiny 2 Collapse. The expansion has been in the works for some time now, around 2 years, and was originally planned as part of Destiny 3 before being retooled midway through development. So see right, the second paragraph right here just makes me question it. It's like really just no, I don't think they're gonna make a Destiny 3. Destiny 2 Collapse is the big one story wise. Focuses on the first arrival of the pyramids. It's a very big Forsaken-esque expansion that's nearly a game unto itself. Darkness will finally be the main villain, front and center of the expansion. Very interesting character from what I've seen, and takes the form of a very ghostly veiled woman. She same look as the statue in the pyramid. It was a nickname of a sort throughout Collapse, the Winnower. The expansion focuses around two destinations, Europa and the Finality, a massive city inside the Winnower's core pyramid, originally depicted in D2 vanilla concept art. But we'll finally be going there to put an end to the Winnower. Huge focus on darkness abilities, new darkness subclasses for each class respectively. Callus, Marosov, and Erismorn are all significant presences throughout Collapse's story. Another big takeaway are the Veil.
Jeez.
Essentially a long-rumored race that's been in dev for a while. Got leaked by Shadow of Anon the Nine a while back, mostly from concept work. The Veil are the first new truly alien enemy race to the series, not counting the Scorn Taken. A very H.R. Geiger ghostly aesthetic to them. Pick related is an extremely old D1 concept that heavily inspired their aesthetic. The Veil have the most new units out of any race thus far, stand up being a large earthly golem creature. It will be revealed 2 months out from now in June, and the storyline is intended to segue right into Destiny 3. Like Forsaken, Collapse will have a flagship raid revolving around a descent into the Winnower's domain, deep inside the Finality. Seems as if we'll be destroying the Darkness's physical form in this raid. New strikes are also coming.
Hey, we're getting new strikes. There you go.
What do you have to say?
The only thing I will say, I don't necessarily think it's going to be necessarily Forsaken size or bigger, but I definitely think it's going to be a big focus on pyramids. I definitely think they have postponed Destiny 3. That's something that they've been kind of... Luke Smith has even addressed, like, we are committed to Destiny 2, putting out content.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely think obviously with the focus now of, like, the ships, even though, like, Bungie's not really even talking about it, I think, as I said, I definitely believe the pyramid ships are going to be the main focus next DLC. I think my phone is just blown up. The big thing. Like, it's going to be pyramid ships. Obviously, like, we've known Destiny 3 has been in the works since originally, like, shortly after Destiny 2. Nolan North made a comment. So, potentially a lot of this could have been the start of Destiny 3, and they're just pulling a lot of this files and this project into Destiny 2 because they're not forced to release the Destiny 3 now. I think I'm trying to, because I have to have 2 fucking tabs open with this because I couldn't read the original thing. The things I would say, I don't know necessarily, obviously, like, the name of the DLC may not be right. I think it could be called something else. Same thing with the enemies type. I could see a different name change. But for the most part, like, I could see a lot of this happening this fall.
Yeah, I think it's all or horseshit. Personally, I would be really excited for something like this. Like, me and you have talked about darkness abilities and darkness subclasses or stuff like that.
Yeah, as I said, the one thing I'm not necessarily on board with this would be the
Veil
expectations. Well, no, I think we'll get a different enemy type. Will be necessarily not Forsaken size.
You think it'll be smaller?
I think what they could do potentially is we'll get a smaller DLC in September, like a Shadowkeep size, maybe a little bit bigger, and I think they will spread out some of that content instead of releasing all of it at once, and that's how they're going to kind of do their seasons and kind of release some of the other stuff that would have been in Forsaken, because obviously they know their seasons at this point. I mean, they just can't do it. So instead of doing the DLC all at once, they could spread some of that out throughout in seasons. Because, I mean, Forsaken was massive. Like, we got, 2 new destinations with it. I think we got... Last Wish might have been...
Yes, Last Wish was
one of the long... Well, no. Like, one of the biggest raids in Destiny.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah.
Other than maybe, like, King's Fall, I'm thinking. But, like, that had a... How many encounters does Last Wish have?
I want to say 6.
So... Yeah, I'm leaning more on True on this. I think we'll see on how next season is.
Okay, so the reason I call bullshit is because they talked about Destiny 3 and being retooled midway through development. That doesn't sound like something they've been talking about seasons, like the future of Destiny 2 and how this particular game, Destiny 2, has a future to it. They said it has like a 5-year future, I believe, maybe longer. So that already like sparked off my bullshit sensors.
I don't think Destiny 2 originally had a long-term deal. I think realistically, if Bungie was still at Activision right now, like, and they never left Activision, I think we get Destiny 3 this year. There was never really any terms of talking of keeping Destiny 2 alive until it went New Light. That's when they were like, okay, we are focused on Destiny 2, like, as its core, like, we're not necessarily focused with Destiny 3. I think with Activision, if they were with Activision, D3 is out this year. Because if you go back and look at the D1 life cycle, you got Destiny 1, or you got 2 small expansions. You then got King's Fall. And then after King's Fall, you went a year and you got Rise of Iron. At Destiny 2, you got Destiny 2, 2 small DLCs. Then that fall, you got Forsaken. And then the year after Forsaken, you got Shadowkeep. And then after Shadowkeep would have been Destiny 3. But now they don't have Activision basically telling them what to do. I feel like they want to continue to support Destiny 2 at this time until I feel like they can stand, like, that they can financially go out and be like, okay, we're going to put out.
Okay. Another thing that set off my bullshit alarms was that just reading this sounds like someone's stitching together a bunch of lore. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, they talked about the collapse, they talked about the winnower, they talked about the veil.
They did talk about the collapse in this season, though.
No, I'm just saying, like, in this particularly, they just, like, go through a bunch of lore books and they're like, oh, let's take this, take this, take this. Like, it just sounds like it's... It doesn't sound like it's, like, a fully thought out, realized game. It just sounds like someone just pulls some things out of a book.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, a lot of people thought the animals for the Warlock Hunter and the Titan back in D1, they thought all those were fake, and then later on, once D2 got revealed, like, all those were true.
What else is there?
I don't necessarily think we'll get a new subclass. That was another one where I was like, I don't necessarily see that, but I see in terms of new enemy type, destination, it being based around the pyramids.
They mentioned Callus. Like, I think Callus would be cool to have in a story campaign, but they haven't done anything with him in a story campaign. It's always been raid stuff. The closest thing you ever got into a story campaign was for like with him mentioned in it. I think it was like an adventure, and it was just like talking about the ship that was above Nessus.
I think you're right. I don't remember that one, but I'm pretty sure
I did that one somewhat fairly recently, so I remember that. So
yeah, I think so, because that was like the one where you have to like decipher the white glowy things, and then Cabal.
Yeah. Was finality a thing that people have been talking about?
That I do
the
not
city
know.
Inside the pyramid ships. Like I've never heard of anything like that.
So, in terms of like going into like super big lore, like I don't know. We would need like a lore buff to really decipher a lot of this stuff.
Also, another thing, I was like just reading up on, like reading some Reddit on, the image they used for this is just a Google search image. Plus, the collapsed text looks pretty fake. It looks like they just got the logo for D2, threw it on a wallpaper, and then typed up collapse in like their Photoshop, and then just like saved it and uploaded it.
I don't know. I don't think the name is necessarily true. I think a lot of that stuff will get, because you all, in terms of this time of the year, as you know, it's been covering video games, like how much stuff gets leaked.
Oh,
right now.
Yeah. It's fairly common, but
so, and a lot of the times, names aren't necessarily.
Yeah, names always get switched around, man. That's
switched around. In terms of, I don't know how he got his source or his knowledge, but like obviously, like name title could be changed. But I think he has the same thing with like enemy types, possibility of destination types getting changed. But I think he has a lot of the ideas. Obviously, pyramids.
I think that's the only thing that you're hooked on is like, of course, we're gonna get the pyramids.
Obviously, we know. Like, and then you figure around 2 years ago. That's probably about the time. You know. Bungie, because what, it's been over a year now after Forsaken.
It's been over a year, yes, like a year and a half.
Yeah, and that was probably about the time where Bungie was probably getting kind of to the point to where they wanted to get out with Activision. Destiny 3 was probably in the works around that time anyways. And then after Activision said Forsaken was a failure, I think that was when Destiny or Bungie, as a team, was able to then come up with the money because they got like $100-something million from the Chinese company.
I think it was NetEase or something NetEase, like that, yeah.
To then also make another IP, which was codenamed Matter.
Yeah.
So, like, we know for sure that they're working on an IP. We do know that Destiny 3 at one point was being developed.
How do we know that?
Nolan North leaked that. Because he was saying that Destiny 3 was... Nolan North is the voice actor for the Ghost. That he said that they had a small crew working on Destiny 3. In terms of probably, like, story-driven, like, writing, like, a lore and stuff. For that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because, as I said, like, Destiny 2 wasn't supposed to be something that they were going to continue to develop for until after they got out with Activision, is when Luke Smith said that we are fully committed on making content around Destiny 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I will say that, though, I believe that the pyramids are going to be a big thing. Or, well... I hope they are. I hope the pyramids are a big thing in the next like fall DLC.
No, I think that's a lock.
Yeah. But you know, Bungie, they sometimes just bring stuff up and drop it.
I think a lot of that we'll see, I guess, going forward. But I think some of that was maybe focused around Activision, trying to have them redo. Because, they got to take their stuff to Activision as a publisher, and they have to then approve their work. So,
I hope a lot of this stuff is true because it sounds really awesome. Like having Callus and Marasov and Eris as significant presences. Like it would be really cool if Callus was a vendor, like essentially his visage is. Like have him as a raid vendor. That'd be pretty sweet. Get rid of the robot. I don't know. I think this is cool. I just think it's bullshit.
It's bullshit. I said, yeah, I'm leaning towards more that most of this is true. I think in terms of names might get changed around, but I think just with how things have been going this season, I think Bungie does have something planned pretty big for this fall. So
yeah. All right. So it's gonna be a podcast for us. Sully, where can the people find you?
You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube at Sully__games.
You can find me, your host Thomas, on Twitter, CSG Thomas. I'm also on Twitch as Kane Play Stuff.
Yeah, you are.
You can check out our website, charshot.com, for audio, video, and written content. Check out iTunes, Stitcher, anywhere you get podcasts. Leave us a review. 5 stars, the best. You can email me, thomas@charshot.com. If you want to be a guest on the show, please let me know. And I think that's all I'm going to plug for today. So until then, Guardians, eyes down.
Beautiful.